Welcome back, everyone. This is CCP Fozzie, joined by Apathetic Brent, and we're bringing you Match 8 of Day 3 of the 11th Alliance Tournament. This is Choke Point versus Razer, and we've got another flagship on the field. It's what you see on your screen right now. It is 7-9 in the Armageddon. Notably, Choke Point tried to ban the Armageddons, and Razer said nope, and brought their flagship instead. One of the things that some of you may not know about flagships is that if the other team tries to ban that, you can actually still bring it. You can't bring any more of it, but you can bring the one flagship. And so Razer has brought Hyperions, which you haven't seen a lot so far in this tournament, really not been popular in previous tournaments either, and their flagship Geddon, Prophecy, Guardian, and then a bunch of Frigs for support. Choke Point, Cruise Foons, probably going to be Nano Fit kiting around.
Yeah, if Choke Point is able to screen well with those Vengeances and keep all of the Enyos, the Ishkurs from tackling the Typhoons, they can actually do a pretty good job of just spewing cruise missiles from range and just bleed out Razer.
Yes. Actually, one thing I didn't realize until just a moment there, the team that banned the Geddon was actually Razer.
Oh.
So they banned it themselves and then brought the flagship possibly as a ruse, saying, hey, we're going to try to avoid all newts with the Balgorn and Geddon ban, but then we're going to bring our own. Balgorns and Geddons are good counters to each other because you can nuke each other out. Yeah.
I didn't notice, was there a Dominic's ban in this
Yes,
match?
Dominic's Mollis for Choke Point, I believe, which is you don't want Mollises when you're running around with long-range Foons because they'll knock you up pretty easily.
Choke Point doing a really smart thing here, going after the Armageddon of 7-9 while they have all their DPS standing.
Yeah.
If they're able to get that down, that's most of their long-range DPS off the field and, from the word go. So as long as they keep on this, if they're not able to break it, they're going to have to apply better damage to the Guardian, change their tactic overall.
They're also dominating the control war. You can see their control bar almost full, the Razer control bar empty, and look at all the effects up and down the side of the screen there on Razer. That's a lot of damps and a lot of tracking disruptors in the Hyperions as well. That means that they're just not going to be able to get locks very easily. If they can damp down especially the Geddon.
Importantly, tracking disruptor on a Vengeance right there.
Yes, super
the damage output just got half from that team.
For anyone not familiar with them, tracking disruptors don't do anything to missile ships like the Vengeance. It's very likely just a Frig. You see this a lot. Often frigates that have a tracking disruptor and tackle will accidentally put on the tracking disruptor on the target they're tackling, but something you want to avoid in the tournament. Also tracking disrupting on the Foon.
Yeah. The Armageddon is taking damage, and it appears to be sticking. We do have tackle now on Lemster in the Typhoon, so we'll see how that goes. But at the same time, the Choke Point Oneros has pretty good reps on Honed and the Vengeance right now.
Yeah, and the Foon is only tackled by the frigates. They're out all around him, but the actual big ships are still a ways away, the Geddon and the Hyperion. So if they can get on top of one of these Geddon, or one of these Foons, then we'll see some real damage being applied. But because they're, the one Hyperions are tackled as well, that's going to make it a bit harder for them to move in. This Geddon is going to be a big problem with the newts. I think we're not seeing any newt effects coming off of him right now, but if we do, then stuff is going to start having trouble because those heavy newts are bad news.
Yeah, but they're doing a good job. It looks like they have committed their Vengeances into the middle of the fight to try to keep the large ships from Razer Alliance pinned down so that these Typhoons can do their job. But we did just get a web and a decent amount of damage onto Dylan Ream in the Typhoon, but he's already getting pre-repped, even a bit early, but their logistics pilot is on his toes right now.
So one of the big dangers of a kiting team is you always have to worry about the edge of the arena. And nice Nicholas there in the Heron for Choke Point did not concern himself enough with the edge of the arena and went out past the edge of glory and got himself explodinated.
7-9's getting really close to structure bleed in that
that
flagship.
Could be a very
Armageddon.
expensive explosion. That is he's going down, and meanwhile we're also seeing an Enyo dropping very quickly, and that Enyo is taking some of the reps off because they're repping the Enyo trying to keep him alive, and that means 7 of 9 is going to go down faster.
Yeah, I do not agree with it. When there's certain situations when you're holding the primary thing that you're repping that you can afford to get reps onto a secondary or an ancillary target, but when your flagship's going down, it's not the right time.
He's clawing back a little bit, but so if they can take down one of these Typhoons before he dies, then I think they're going to be in great shape. Now we're going to see how well their damage applies to him. They do have the battleships now on top of their primary Typhoon. He is getting reps from the Aneros of Choke Point. Meanwhile, the other Foons have all moved pretty far away, so they're doing the right thing. That's a great thing.
Good piloting. The biggest issue is that they have an overall low DPS
Actually,
setup
Lemster
with the Typhoons.
is not doing a great job. He's kind of still close, but he's moving away now. But good piloting from Captain Daddio there. Also awesome name.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to be the best pilot on my team, I'd probably be named Captain Daddio.
So he's staying well away. The great thing about a team like this is that you don't have to keep the Foons close together. So you're forcing Razer to run up and catch one of them, and then run a whole trek to catch another, and then do it again to catch catch the third.
It's a lot more efficient when you're actually killing things, though.
Yes. I mean, they're killing some Ishkers. Getting some of the tackle away is going to be nice, but they really do need to get that getting down. He's just in, like, slivers of armor left. Meanwhile, Vengeance is dropping down. Their Foon, we just saw, oh, there you go. For a second, the reps dropped off of the Foon of Dylan Ream there. I thought that the Arneros might be damped out too much to lock, but he's still able to do it.
He seems to be doing a pretty good job of being on the edge of rep range while also not being in newt range of the Armageddon. So that's good. And the Armageddon, it is losing structure now. So if he goes down, that's probably going to turn the tides for this fight.
That's going to be a huge, expensive loss for Razer Alliance. Even if Razer wins this fight, they then won't be able to bring their flagship back. And there goes 7-9, the captain for Razer Alliance, exploding in the flagship. We'll find out soon in the aftermatch report how valuable that ship was.
Yes, absolutely. And it looks like they're going to go after the Hyperion of Mr. Papa Giorgio. We've got some good names in this match. It looks like they're going after him next. It's a decent call. It's a toss-up whether you want to go after the Guardian next, but they think they have the DPS to get it off. And since I don't see any tackle effects. Okay, there we go. We get tackle back onto Dylan Ream. If he wasn't tackled, if he was able to get away, I would go for the Guardian first. But since he is tackled, go for the Hyperion. Try to get the DPS off.
If they can take that down, then they'll be able to rep him up forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, so at this point, definitely in the driver's seat with choke point here. Razer, that Hyperion of Mr. Papa Giorgio, is going down a little bit. He's getting some reps, but it's not looking like quite enough. And we'll have to see how long he can hold out. Meanwhile, as an Enyo of Babazi goes down as well into structure, although he's holding an armor, just on the edge of armor. And the Typhoon of Dylan Ream still dropping very, very slowly. So these guys are all out on the edge of the arena. They're all in danger of slipping out if they're not careful. They have to all be very, very, very cognizant of what's going on around them to make sure they don't leave the arena and get themselves destroyed.
They do have tackle on the Oneros, and they're putting good damage down onto it. We'll see what its armor tank is like.
That's probably.
I would imagine it's support. Yeah, exactly. I would imagine it's a support side. Enyos are going to do kinetic thermal damage. Neros actually has a pretty decent tank against kinetic thermal, so it'll take a while.
And one of the Enyos has died. So there goes the tackle on the Neros. That was a good kill for choke point.
Absolutely.
Because that Enyo was the only thing tackling their logistics, and so now he is free to run wild and in the wild and open plains of P1-R1.
The amazing Jove space that if you try to explore it, you will get in trouble.
Yes.
The Hyperion of Mr. Papa Giorgio is now
He's
entering
definitely going
pretty
down
low
faster
armor.
than Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan's been tanking right around 60% for quite a while. I would imagine that at this point, it's almost as if the Oneros might just be keeping him there so as to not stimulate a target switch. They want to keep him tanking, especially because if he has reactive armor hardeners, he's already going to have his resist profile be primed for what they're shooting at him.
Yeah, and the Hyperion is just slowly edging down. Meanwhile, the frigates are going after the last Enyo that just killed the Dragoon and the Incursus there. That's going to be all of the frigs gone for Razer very, very soon. Oh, no, he's catching reps. But again, the splitting reps off of the battleship means the battleship is going to go down faster.
Yeah. And I don't know what essential role that Enyo is maybe playing.
It's a lot of DPS.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of DPS, but it doesn't look like he's in the main fight. So my guess is that he's probably off on that Oneros now.
Yeah, probably trying to, but obviously, well, there you go, got the tackle on him, so that's going to be him. And once he clears off, that's going to be the Oneros in virtually no danger because these Hyperions cannot catch him.
I'm surprised at how many target painters this Razer Alliance team has when they only have one sentry ship. I would imagine that their Hyperions have webs of their own. So any more than one or two.
But there's no webs on the Foon. And they're right on top of the Foon, so they probably don't. That's definitely something. They may have relied really heavily on the newts from that Geddon on their frigs, but now the frigs are getting the Geddon are gone. And with no tackle, that Foon is going to be faster than them. And here he goes, speeding up. We're seeing Dylan Ream there going up 150, 140, while only 124 for the Hyperion. So he's going to just slowly edge away.
It's actually a pretty slow speed, and I wouldn't think that he's capped out because I haven't seen any newting on him recently. But I don't know what else we've got newting effects onto the Hyperion, but nothing going on to the Typhoon. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry to get out of there optimal, though.
No. Well, he's tanking fine, though, so I guess he doesn't have to worry too much. The Aneros there was actually in really close and got himself neuted by the Eos and tackled. That's what was tackling him there for a second. But he's managed to pull range again. And the big chunk of armor repair bots are what is keeping him alive. So he's got a bunch of armor repair bots around him, and he got in really, really close and then got in a bit of danger and left.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty good call. I think that this is just gonna take another 50 seconds to wind down, but I don't see Razer Alliance pulling this back. This is pretty
killing
far gone.
32
one way.
points in 43
Yeah.
seconds. I really doubt that they'll be able to do that. Yeah. So this will be Razer Alliance knocked out of the tournament. I believe. Are they the last CFC Alliance left in this tournament?
I don't actually
not
follow
sure.
the politics that much.
But they're a team that has done pretty decently in previous years. They got to the semifinals in 89. With some support from Hydra, who gave them a hand. And this
there's
year,
a mixed track record with
Yeah.
that. Half the time it works, half the time it doesn't.
And so this year, though, they're going to be knocked out on day 3 in the elimination bracket, and Choke Point will be moving forward and continuing on their road towards the finals. So congratulations to Choke Point with a very convincing victory. Razer Alliance, that Hyperion, is going to die in the 1 second. They died. That's really close. One way or another, doesn't matter for the match, but if he died afterwards, we'll give him a ship back. But we will be back in just a few minutes for a really big match. It's just Hun Reloaded versus Godfathers.
I'm very excited to see what these two
So
teams
yeah,
do.
you definitely don't want to change the channel on your computer. In the meantime, we'll be sending you over to Soundwave. in the
Don't
studio.
touch that browser.